Autistic people can have issues with clothing and dressing ourselves for vastly different reasons, and it's a strange sort of area because there are so many different factors at play. There's the sensory aspect of clothing, which I'll mostly be covering in this video, additional disabilities or neurodivergencies, for example dyspraxia, that might make it physically difficult to get dressed, or affect your ability to tie laces or do buttons, external cultural and social expectations, for example around religiously mandated dress, required clothing for certain professions, or school uniforms. Then there's gender performance or self-expression. What statement are you trying to make with your clothes, if any? And body size is a factor too. There are limited options in larger sizes. And of course, disposable income, because clothes are expensive. And even for those who really don't care what you wear as long as it's comfortable, the reality is that your clothes send a message to the people around you, even if that message is, I really don't care what I wear as long as I'm comfortable. We know that people make what's known as thin slice judgments. That is, people size you up in a matter of seconds, and this includes using your clothes as an indicator of in-group, out-group status, wealth or class, sexuality or gender, professionalism. This is a bit of a loaded term. I don't really like it, not just for autistics who might struggle with the sensory aspects related to dressing so-called professionally, but also, for example, Black people who are told that the natural way that their hair naturally grows out of their head is unprofessional. So it's a really loaded term, and I don't like it very much because post-pandemic, you know, we've all been on Zoom calls with people's kids and cats like puking in the background. So isn't it time to drop this veneer of what's professional and what's not? Anyway, that was a bit sidetracked. Where was I? Oh yes, so I'm going to talk about clothes. So we know that no two autistic people are the same, we know that by now, but there are definitely common patterns in areas where we struggle with clothes for sensory reasons. There's a big debate between loose versus tight. Loose can be comfortable, but is not necessarily always comfortable. I'm one of these team tight but stretchy, and I like wearing compression clothing, especially on the bottom, so like, you know, leggings and stuff, because it's stretchy and it allows me to sit like a pretzel as I go about my daily business. And obviously there's just as many autistic people that would disagree with that. Their preference would be for looser clothing every time. For me in general, I hate feeling constricted, which is different from pressure. Constriction means that you can't move around. So for example, tailored workwear that is very tight and restrictive in the shoulder. The lack of stretch in clothes also often triggers like sort of body image issues for me, giving me the feeling of that I'm gonna hulk out of these clothes if I move too much, which I actually did during my pregnancy. I have a maternity coat that had a rip all the way down the back because I literally hulked out of it when I put it on. I really don't like things, especially around my shoulders, that are restrictive. And neurodivergent people may themselves have different areas of the body that they need restriction or pressure or looseness in different parts. So for example, I need pressure or form-fitting fabric around my middle in general because I hate being brushed with fabric basically anywhere between like the ribs and the hips. So if something is sort of the closer to my body, the better. But like I said, things have to generally be loose around the shoulders. Then we come to visual aspects of clothing. There are two sides to this. When I asked on my community tab, there were definitely two camps here. There's the camp, I need neutral, plain, calming palettes, all black, all white, all beige, or whatever. And then there's the, I need these prints that are vibrant and bright. I need to be stimulated by my clothes. I am very much a print seeker. I'm a visual seeker, so I always drawn to the prints when I go shopping. I would get really bored if I had to wear plain neutral clothes every single day, but sometimes you just want to chill and blend in. So today this is quite a neutral look because I've got beige on the bottom and reasonably neutral t-shirt on the top. Sometimes you do just want to blend in a little bit. It's a vibe. But I do struggle shopping because 9 times out of 10 I get sucked into looking at the prints and then I forget that I actually need to order things that don't make everyone around me really sick. And then there's fabric. Synthetic fabric, which is basically plastic, makes it harder for your body to regulate temperature and you'll get sweatier. And natural fibers tend to be more breathable, can be more sustainable, although even natural materials do have an environmental cost. And they also tend to be softer unless you're looking at sort of like hemp items. One fabric that is especially soft is bamboo. And a lot of people who responded to me said that they also really love bamboo. Then we come to labels and seams and annoying things that itch. And many of us struggle with labels and often cut them out. Although I do feel like labels have gotten softer over the years, but maybe I've just coarsened up. I've cut out labels of some of my clothes, definitely in the past. I don't cut them all out though. Many of us also struggle with seams that are itchy, especially on socks. Some of us struggle with wearing socks, actually. Underwear. I could probably do a whole video on underwear, and especially how much boobed autistic people hate bras. I'm not going to. I am actually team bra because I find it extremely uncomfortable to not wear a bra, but I tend to get wireless? Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Wireless bras. Yeah. I also find pants an issue for the Americans. Pants are trousers. For me, pants are what Americans call, I don't know, under pantaloons or something. It is difficult to find the right stuff. It has to be the right cut. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be something you're adjusting all day. Really has to be the right pair of pants. Under pantaloons, sorry. And of course, the thing about clothes is that you have to shop for them. And if you have really specific sensory needs, this can cost a lot of time and energy and money. And shopping for clothes is really not easy for me. Going into actual clothes shops is a special kind of hell and something I rarely do because it's noisy. And the trendier the shop, the noisier they seem to make it. The changing rooms are often cramped. I don't know if anyone else ends up like hopping around, leaning against the side of the wall for balance, trying to put things on, but that's usually me. If you hear thumping and bumping in changing rooms, that's probably me, and I'm not having that kind of a good time. And it's basically, the whole experience is kind of a sensory nightmare. But of course, if the shop is right, it's quiet, it's relaxed, there is, you know, capacious changing rooms, I can enjoy the experience. But shopping out and about always involves either walking or driving to shops, which comes with its own set of executive functioning and sensory issues. So no matter what you choose, there are drawbacks in each area. Even in the best environment, I will usually feel quite overwhelmed after I've been shopping. So probably 90% of what I buy is online. And online shopping makes things easier, but there are still difficulties. Obviously, sizing is a difficult one to get right when you're shopping online for everyone. But then if you need to return something, there are extra steps required to return that. And if you have ADHD or other executive functioning issues, this can be hard to make sure that you return things in the right way or in the right time frame, and you don't just leave it in the hall waiting to go out for 3 months or something. So it can end up being much more expensive because you have to try more things, and even things that claim to be, you know, buttery soft or is butter soft? But even things that sell themselves in comfort aren't necessarily always, that's not always the case when you get the item.
And now a quick word from our sponsor.
If you're into things that are comfortable and stylish, look no further. These are called Loop earplugs, and they are a great addition to your daily life because of how discreet and cute they are. They've got different sized ear tips in foam and silicone, so you've got a much better chance of finding a good fit. I've been using these ones, which are called Loop Quiet, for about a year now, and they are very comfortable to sleep in because they're made from silicone and basically lie flat. They provide medium noise blockage, very useful if you have a baby, but I can still hear if the baby needs me in the night. I also recently tried these ones, which are called Loop Experience Pro. I tried them out at a concert and they made an otherwise very loud experience quite bearable. Music and speech remained clear and I didn't have any ringing in my ears by the end of the night. And they come in a great array of colors, so I actually think they look really cool and quite nice, especially if you're someone like me with a nickel allergy and you can't wear earrings. They kind of look a little bit like jewelry, I think. There's a discount code for you if you use my link in the description box below, so please check them out if you're interested. Now back to the content. So a question that I asked myself when I was preparing for this video is, can you actually make a piece of clothing or a clothing line sensory friendly so that it would suit autistic people? But I think ultimately, autistic people often have conflicting and opposite needs a lot of the time, which means that one piece of clothing can never be right for all people. But I think that there are some general principles that clothing companies could follow to make things more accessible, more sensory friendly, and that would not just benefit autistic people, but it would probably benefit a lot of other people. So for example, there should be no tags. This would also save, I don't know, money and resources, just print it onto the fabric. Soft waistbands or wristbands would be great. Natural fibers, obviously, for breathability. Not putting extra buttons or, you know, those tiny little pockets they put on women's t-shirts. And you just think, why is this pocket even there? Is that like to hold your pen or your mouse or your mouse's pen or something? Also, the bows on the front of women's pants, like what's that about? Generally annoying things there for decoration that don't even look that good. We'll just scrap all of that and just make it as easy as possible to put the item on. So now it's time for just a little bit of fun. I wanted to show you 3 different outfits and explain how they fit my sensory needs. Fashion show time. Outfit number 1 we'll call Mum Chic. Today, Sam is wearing an outfit for the mum on the go or off the go. She's rocking her mum bun paired with a white linen shirt that's extremely breathable and some black Carhartt utility leggings. They've got pockets! She hates the feel of fabric brushing against her skin. So underneath, she's wearing a cotton bodysuit that clips at the crotch, but is surprisingly not that annoying. She's wearing shoes that she's replaced the laces with elastic laces, allowing her to slip them on and off more easily and exerting just the right amount of pressure every time. Outfit number 2, fun with friends. Here, Sam is wearing a 1960s inspired flower power dress from Top Vintage. This dress gives vibrant visual stimulation for boosting the mood or feeling like you're on a trip without the drugs. It's got stretchy material that makes it comfortable and it's surprisingly versatile. You can wear it with leggings or not. Easy to put a cardigan on and you can dress it up or down with shoes. I don't know what this voice is. What am I doing? Outfit number 3, dressing up. Sam doesn't often get dressed up anymore, but when she does, she still needs to be comfortable. This is for a hypothetical fancy event, let's say it's a wedding. She really likes the aesthetic appeal of floaty dresses, but to be honest, this isn't the best material. So she's improvising. She's wearing a body underneath it, but also high-waisted shorts, so the feeling of the fabric brushing against her skin doesn't bother her all day. Generally speaking, Northern European summer still requires something on top, so she's got this Ted Baker jacket, which is probably over a decade old, but is extremely soft and strokeable. And this shape of jacket really works because the puffed sleeves give enough movement around her shoulders to be comfortable in tailored clothing. Relatively speaking, of course. So I hope you enjoyed me having just a bit of fun in this video. Let me know what your clothing must-haves or must-have-nots are in the comments below. And also, if you actually enjoyed this video, should I do an autumn-winter version of this? Remember that the best clothing for autism is clothing that you love and that makes you happy. This is not an example of what autism wears or anything like that. It's just a few examples of outfits that I wear and why I wear them and what adjustments I make to help me out and make it more comfortable for me so it doesn't cause kind of a sensory buildup or sensory overload. Don't forget to check out Loop earplugs using my link below and the discount code. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you next time. Bye. It's got stretchy material, collars and shirt sleeves. What? What am I doing? If you, what? What? But otherwise, I just get regular, seamless, blam-blue. Don't forget to check out your Loop earplugs. Check out your Loop earplugs. I do another hat coming up. I'm an ex-gymnast, thank you. Thank you very much.